Kagapon, abi mo, end of the world na.
Oo, pwede puta. Matyagoy, I'm in a very dark place. A place that I didn't think I could crawl out of.
Survive.
Hi, good day. We're here on another edition of our Ahon Lockdown videos. And today, we're gonna discuss about how to clean, maintain, and store our trekking poles or trail running poles. I have with me two trail running poles. One is the most commonly used by trail runners. It's the Black Diamond Carbon Z poles. And I have here are the new Z poles by Salomon. It's Carbon Z poles. As we know, trekking poles are very good tools in trekking, trail running, sky running, and especially in ultra distances. If you're very proficient in using poles, it can be very advantageous in races, especially in ultra distances. The first thing that I will discuss is how to clean these trail running poles. Of course, we're in a tropical country, we're in the Philippines, so it's either the weather is always rainy and muddy and the trails are always muddy. The best thing to do after a good or a dirty trail running session is to wash the trail running poles with water to remove the mud and the grit. Wash it thoroughly, and as much as possible, if you wash it, wash also the sections, the insides, so you can wash the grit. And after washing and cleaning it, you make sure before you store it, you wipe it up, wipe it with a dry cloth and air dry it. Now, the problem with carbon poles is that if you want to dry it, don't expose it too much under the sun because it's carbon. So carbon is known, if there's too much sun, there will be warping and it's gonna be brittle. So it will shorten the life of your poles. For me, after cleaning it and drying it, air drying it, the best way to store it is, especially with the Z poles, you don't store it engaged because the locks, especially if you don't clean it before you store it, it will corrode because our sweat is very corrosive. The spring inside and the mechanism inside will lock up, and like this one, this was not properly cleaned and stored. So if you can see, the mechanism is already stuck, so you cannot disengage it. So the proper way to store it and cleaning it is after you wash it and you air dry it, basically you need to lubricate or put some grease on the mechanisms and the ends. So what I have here is WD-40. So it's a lubricant and also it loosens rusted parts. So before I store these poles inside my house, I make sure I lube it. So I spray WD-40. I make sure that the mechanisms and the joints of the poles are well lubed. So I take WD-40, then make sure to put a good dose of WD-40. Then you engage it. Then also the joints, make sure to lube it properly. Okay. Then after lubing it, after lubing the joints, you can just wipe the excess WD-40 or excess lube. Then there, it's already disengaged, it's well lubed, and you can already store it. So it's the same with this one. So you can see there are watermarks here. So it means when I air dried it, it is still wet. So better to lube it before storing it. that's it. That's how you properly clean, maintain, and lube and store properly your poles to make it last much more longer. The last poles that I have, the Black Diamond Z poles, I used it since 2013 and I just replaced it with this Salomon Z poles just last year. So that Black Diamond Z poles lasted me around 7 years before I eventually replaced it, because I always maintain it, I took care of it, and I always lube it, and I properly stored it. So if you have any comments, suggestions, hacks, tips on how to properly clean, maintain, and store your poles, let us know with the comments below, and stay fit, stay home, and be safe. Cheers!